This is the story of me, Ryan, 29 years old, a graphic designer from Toronto, and my wife Clara. We'd been together since 2010. People always said we were the couple everyone wanted to be. But how do you stay happy when everything you thought you knew is a lie? We met in 2022. Clara was the kind of woman who seemed to have it all figured out. Beautiful, confident, driven. And me? I was just trying to keep up, but we clicked instantly. It felt easy, like we were meant to be. She told me a lot about her past early on, about how she had been through a lot of relationships in her 20s, some messy, some wild, but she always said she was done with that, said she wanted something real, something stable, something lasting. When we got married in June 2023, it felt like the beginning of something beautiful. People called us the power couple. We had it all: good jobs, good friends, a house we could call our own. Over the years, Clara seemed like the one person I could always count on. She was smart, caring, and strong. She was the kind of woman who knew exactly what she wanted, and when she said she was over that party girl phase, I believed her. I thought we were building something real, something worth fighting for. But little things started to change. It wasn't just the sudden disappearance of her usual energy when we were out together, it was the subtle shifts at home. The little things I ignored, thinking they were just part of the routine. Maybe she was stressed, maybe she was just tired. I didn't think much of it at first. She had been working a lot, and I knew she was stressed about some things at work. But when things like this started happening more often, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I felt like she was pulling away, like she was becoming a stranger to me. I told myself it was just a phase. Everyone goes through them, right? But then I started noticing things, small, innocent things. At first, it was nothing. Just odd little habits. But then one thing led to another, and suddenly I was staring at a truth I couldn't ignore. It all started about 8 months ago, with something that seemed so insignificant at the time. I was sitting at my desk, flipping through papers. The soft hum of the office is the only sound. Clara came home that night with a prescription, in-hand birth control, and it didn't even register in my mind right away. She had always been adamant about not needing it, always told me that the only way she would ever go unprotected was if I got a vasectomy. So when I saw that prescription, I couldn't help but feel a little uneasy. I asked her about it. She brushed it off, claiming it was for her cramps, something to help with her period pain. But I knew her well enough to know that she never mentioned anything about that before. It didn't add up. Something about it feels off, but I can't quite place my finger on it. I had this nagging feeling in the back of my mind that wouldn't go. Why now? Why after all this time? And why wasn't she telling me the full truth? I knew something was different, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was. The next few weeks unfold with more tension. Every time I try to get close to Clara, there's an excuse, either too tired or not in the mood. It's subtle at first, easy to dismiss as just the usual stress of life. It wasn't just the birth control. It was the way she started to avoid me, like I was some kind of inconvenience. We had always been close, connected in ways that other couples weren't, or so I thought. But now, every time I tried to touch her, to initiate something, she'd pull away. She was always so careful with her words. And now here she was, talking about this guy like he was someone important. I remember the way she smiled, the way she laughed when his name came up. It wasn't right, and I didn't know why, but something about it made my stomach turn. I didn't want to think my wife could betray me like this. But deep down, I knew that what I was seeing wasn't just a phase. This was something different. And I had to find out what was going on. So I did what I never thought I'd have to do. I started looking for clues. I started going through Clara's old iPod. It had been left forgotten for months, gathering dust. I never imagined that something as simple as an old iPod would change everything. But there it was, sitting innocently, as if it had been waiting for me to find it. My heart raced as I went to the message inbox. The moment I saw her conversations, my world shattered. At first I thought it was just some fluke, maybe a harmless chat, something not worth reading into. But as I scrolled through the messages, I could feel the cold sweat forming on my brow. The screen flashes with messages between Clara and another man, someone I don't know. The more I read, the more my stomach twists in knots. The first message is lighthearted, a playful exchange about work. But as I continue, the messages grew more intimate, more explicit. My breath catches as I read Clara's words. "You make me feel alive again. I can't stop thinking about you. Last night was incredible. You really loosened me up." I couldn't breathe. I was reading the words of my wife, the woman I thought I knew better than anyone, talking to someone else about their intimate moments. It was all there, clear as day. I never expected to find something like this. I scrolled further, each new message more damning than the last. Clara has been sending photos of herself, seductive and intimate, meant only for this man. My hands shake as I read Clara's messages about how she felt silly when he tried to buy her lingerie, but how she'd sent pictures of herself wearing it to this man. Photos I have never seen. It wasn't just the photos, it was everything. The way she spoke to him, the way she called him baby and babe like it was nothing. And then, there it was, the line that hit hardest. She said, "I'm so glad I'm not with Ryan tonight. He tried to make love to me again, LOL." The words seemed to blur together as I stared at the screen, unable to process what I'm reading. My mind is a whirlwind of confusion, betrayal, and anger. The last message lingering on the screen. Clara had written, "I'm doing this because I'm bored. Ryan's not enough anymore, and I need something more exciting." The iPod slipped from my hand, clattering onto the floor. I stand in the doorway of our bedroom, clutching the iPod in my hand. Clara is sitting on the bed, her back to me, folding laundry as though everything is perfectly normal. She's humming quietly, lost in her own world. I took a deep breath, my throat tight with emotion. Then, without any warning, I slammed the iPod onto the nightstand, causing Clara to jump in surprise. Quick favor. If you're enjoying this story so far, please take a second to hit that like button. It will really help the channel. Thank you. She turns toward me, eyes wide with confusion, but the moment she sees the look in my eyes, she freezes. "We need to talk." My voice is low but firm, my eyes never leaving hers. Clara's smile falters, and she immediately tries to brush it off. "What's wrong, Ryan? You look like you've seen a ghost." I stepped forward. "I'm done pretending. You're not fooling me anymore. I know about him." Clara's face pales, her hand instinctively moving to her mouth as her eyes flicker with panic. She stands up quickly, her voice shaky. "What do you mean, you know about him?" I toss the iPod onto the bed, the screen still showing the damning messages. "I know about the texts, about the photos, about the way you've been talking to him. All the lies, Clara, all the things you said behind my back." For a moment, Clara doesn't speak. She just stares at the iPod, and I can see her mind racing, trying to figure out what to say. But there's no denying it now. "Clara, you told me everything was fine, that you were happy, that there was nothing wrong between us, and then you go and do this? You've been with him?" Clara takes a step back, her eyes flicking nervously toward the door, then back to me. Her defenses are crumbling, and the facade of calm that she's been holding on to for so long is beginning to break down. She stammers, trying to explain. "Ryan, I never meant for this to happen. I didn't think it would go this far. I was just looking for something." "You don't get to explain this. You don't get to act like this was just some mistake. You've been sleeping with him. You've been sending him pictures, talking about things with him that you never once shared with me." Clara's eyes fill with tears, but she doesn't let them fall. She tried to reach for me, but I stepped back, my body tense, refusing to let her close the gap between them. "I was bored, Ryan. Bored with you. With us. I thought maybe if I could get that feeling again, that excitement, the passion, It would make everything better. But I never meant to hurt you. I felt the rage building up again, the frustration of the months I spent questioning every little thing, not knowing why Clara had grown so distant, why everything had changed. Now, it all made sense, and it hurt more than I could have imagined. You think I don't know how this feels? You think I don't see the lies you've fed me all these years? You've been playing me, Clara. And the worst part is, I kept believing in us. I kept believing that you were the woman I married, that this was real. The tears finally spill over from Clara's eyes, and she steps closer, reaching for my hand. Ryan, baby, please don't leave. I made a mistake. I'm sorry, it was just a phase. I want you. I never stopped loving you. I pulled my hand away sharply, the hurt too raw to ignore anymore. No, you didn't just make a mistake, Clara. You chose him. You chose someone else over me, and that's something I can't forget. Clara collapses onto the bed, her sobs racking her body. I never wanted to hurt you. I swear it was never supposed to be like this. I just got lost. I watched her for a moment, the anger in my chest now replaced with a deep sense of sadness. I knew it was over. I don't know who you are anymore, Clara. The words hit her like a slap. She falls silent, her head hanging low, as the reality of what she's done begins to sink in. I didn't say another word. She sits on the couch, her back straight but her posture sagging, her eyes glued to the floor. She hasn't moved much since the confrontation earlier, and neither of us did not spoke for what feels like hours. She finally breaks the silence. Ryan, please, we can mend this. We can go to therapy. We can make it work. I turned to face her, and for a moment, all I felt is a deep, overwhelming sadness. She wasn't the person I thought I could trust with my heart. I stepped forward slowly, my voice calm but heavy with finality. I don't think therapy is going to fix this, Clara. What do you mean? Ryan, please, Clara, stop, I shouted. I've spent months trying to make sense of this. I kept thinking maybe I was wrong, but every time I looked at you, all I saw were the lies, the deceit. You gave yourself to him, what is rightfully mine. You chose someone else. And now, I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I swear it was a mistake. I didn't mean to fall into that. You've always been so good to me. I was just looking for something. I didn't realize how much I was hurting you. It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is what you did, and what you didn't do. You didn't trust me enough to come to me with your problems. You didn't trust me enough to be honest about how you were feeling. Ryan, please, please don't do this. I love you. I never wanted to hurt you. I was just lonely. I wanted to feel wanted again, and he made me feel special. You could have talked to me. You could have told me how you were feeling, and we could have worked through it. But instead, you chose to hide behind lies and go behind my back. I can't do this anymore. I won't be part of a marriage built on lies and betrayal. There is no going back now. You want a divorce, don't you? She asks, her voice barely audible. Yeah, I do. Clara nods as well, her face crumpling as she whispers, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to end like this. I turned and walked toward the door. My mind is a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, but deep down, I knew there's no other choice. I can't. Stay, not anymore. I'm moving out of the house, packing boxes while Clara tries to hold on, offering to wear the lingerie I bought her, trying to manipulate me. I didn't need her apologies. I didn't need her to wear the lingerie. I just needed to escape. The wife I thought I knew was gone, and in her place was someone I didn't recognize. My parents were there for me. My boss helped me get through the legal mess. But the one thing I needed more than anything? Closure. This is where my new journey begins. I'm not looking for another woman right now. I'm just trying to move forward. The divorce isn't even final yet. But one thing is clear. I'm done being a pawn in someone else's game. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you loved? Drop a comment below with your story. If you've ever been through something like this, share your thoughts with us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any more stories like mine. Sometimes the hardest part of a betrayal isn't just finding, it's learning how to heal.